Hey guys, Susanna here. Well, I'm very excited to be sharing with you a new project that I'm doing, and I've designed something that I bought. I was lucky enough to find in an antique shop packs of Sanderson fabric, so it's vintage Sanderson fabric. My other one that I did with antique Sanderson fabric. Actually, I will show you. I finished it. While I'm here, I'm going to show you. I've sewn it around the edge, and hopefully you can see all that. And it's been put together, so it's ready to hang up. See, this is the antique, because it was off an antique Jacobean, a couch. So here I said I would show you the finished piece of that. But this is vintage. So vintage is still good. Stunning, absolutely stunning. When I saw this, and I mean, I've washed it. So here we are. I'll turn it the right way around. Where are we? There we go. And I saw these beautiful these pieces, and I thought that is stunning. So everyone gets a full piece of that, and I've got all these extra bits like here, and some of these, well, actually that could probably be okay for a piece, because I started here. So so I've got these extra bits, so everyone gets a full piece and an extra piece, so that we can these are just the different pieces, so so that we can sew the extra bits and pieces on. It's absolutely gorgeous. I cut this off here. We use these little bits and pieces, but I got 5 packs. These are 1 metre, 5 packs of 1 metre, so they obviously had quite a long, for about 5 metres, which they cut into 1 metre lots. And I thought, I'll take all 5, thank you very much, because it's hard to find good Sanderson fabric. So and I just thought that is stunning, absolutely beautiful. So, and then I was lucky enough to find a massive big roll of this beautiful, it's sort of like a linen cotton, and I've washed that as well, because the outside was just really quite dirty. So in your kit you get these, and that's the vase template, which I traced onto that, and also this, and I've traced a couple of these like little leaves. And I did it on I probably only need 1 medium, small and large, and then these little flowers. And this is just a sort of like a stitchery guide to use fly stitch, and that stem stitch, which we're going to be putting in between. So this is the design that I want to do. This is a little bit bigger because I'm going to do something a little bit different. This is all going to be slow stitched. In your kits you get all these bits and pieces too, and so that'll be the first bit that I do in this video today. These are all just going to be slow stitched on, like as in maybe just a running stitch or whatever. I wanted it to be a bit more textile-ish rather than just having the plain background. I really quite like bits and pieces. So that is part of this piece as well. Oh, hang a minute. Ooh, it goes underneath. Stick out, and that goes on top. So where are we? You want it so that it sticks there like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to when you get your piece, I'm going to you get a piece like this, and save your little bits. This is what I got left over that was worth saving, okay, because I'd like to use some of that pink with these little flowers. So save those little bits. So you trace this on, and make sure that you go up a little bit, because you need to, if you're going to do this needle turn applique, and I just want to do it on the vase. I probably won't do it on there because it's going to be covered, but I thought just something a little bit different. You draw with a one of these, you know, friction pens, or one of those blue pens, you know, that will iron off. So so you draw that around there, and then you cut. I've drawn on there, and then you cut, I don't know, such a 1/4 of an inch all the way around, because I want to be tucking that in. I think that might go over. There we go. So for starters, I'm just going to be putting that aside. And as for your bit, here's the original, and then here's the extra little bits and pieces. I'll just move everything across. I used one of these ones, and I've cut out extra bits and pieces. I'll probably cut out that as well. And even when the flowers are like that, I'll just cut that out. I'm going to be tucking that in there somewhere. These are these bits and that bottom bit. So when you cut out, and they're all the same, the bits that you guys get are all the same, like the big bit. It's only the extra bits that are a little bit different. So probably, if you wanted to screenshot that, you could. I didn't keep all of them because it's just too hard to cut around, so I went as close as I can. I may even go in a little closer with that, because that's going to go over the lip. So you've got this bit here which I've kept, and that bit, and you go in. I thought I'd keep that pink leaf. Yeah, so I think I've cut that bit off. I've cut that bit off. If you want to keep it, you can go in a little bit further, but so I'm going to extend it out by using that extra piece, and by embroidering some of these bits and pieces on the outside. And then I've got some leaves that I'll, you know, make some leaves and stitch them, you know, tuck them in. It all depends what I get out of this. I've got some leaves on that. I'll probably cut some of that, and even here is some leaves. Here, I'll move that. So thinking of sticking that under there, you know, maybe that off to the side, that there, you know. So, but that will come a little bit later. So move this. Now you get everything that you need for this bit here. I've ironed it. I've ironed my part. So if you want to iron yours down a little bit, you know, I've used my crimping shears to cut that. So okay, and this bit that you get, you use some of it for the vase top, and then the other part is for that little part there. So the vase top, I was going to do needle turn applique, but because you don't really see it, I'm just going to cut on the line and stitch it on like I am with the flowers. And the flowers are well and truly stitched down, because you know, we're going to be stitching on the actual flowers and doing all that, so it'll be held down. Okay, but the very first thing that you have to do before you put the flowers on is the vase. But before the vase, there we go, that'll fit in there. And if that's not the right way, that way probably is. There we go. Just got to make it so it fits. Cool. It's a perfect colour. So what we're going to do now, where's my pin cushion? There we go. That one and the other one here somewhere is, put that up there. We are going to, I'll show you, get a long piece of the one with the light or the blue. So it's up because I had certain fabric and it had so you either the long piece is a darker blue and then you get a lighter piece that's a smaller piece, so it's either or in your packs. You get your big pink thing. I'm actually thinking, because you don't see the middle part, so what I was thinking with this, I'm going to cut it in half because it might be nice to use some of this pink for the flowers. So cut that in half because we're only seeing that much of it. Because sort of wanted to balance it, because this part is going to be covered. You don't see it. So now move it across, that over, maybe move that over a little bit. There we go. There we go. Now as for this part, this is the odd piece, is this, because I've got these bits of fabric. Now this one I didn't put in the kit because it had a stamp or something, a sticker on there, and this fabric here on these pieces, they're stuck down. So what you do with that is you cut that piece there, and you've got these pieces, and that's going to be this bit because it's stuck down. So there we go. Better recheck. It's going to be like that. Yeah, there we go. So I wanted it a little bit more in the middle. There we go. So and then you can pull that apart. So that part becomes that. I think you probably almost put that one in there because you don't see that. Just look. It's everywhere. I don't think you end up seeing that. So where are we? I'm thinking I might use some of that because that was my last leftover piece. So there you go. So that's what you use. All of them will have some sort of edge joined. It was very unusual, and I was umming and ahhing whether I have that, but it's got the pink, which is what I really like. I might have that a little bit lower because you want the pink with the pink. And then in some of the centre of the flowers I might put a bit of yellow. They say, was it a rule of thumb that you have a project with 10% something that's 10% different, and that is my yellow in the quilting world anyway. So but it works because it's got that colour in there and it's got the pink, and then the only bit that's different is the yellow. So that is the other side of what you use for the opening. And then this gorgeous piece of fabric, I just love it. My husband really liked this one. You can either have it with the sort of a darker pink showing or the grey, and I thought I like the grey because it matches that. So we're going to be pinning down our pieces. Actually I might do it that way. And then we're just going to slow stitch these down Okay, I'll put that on last. Here we go. So I did a few little layouts, had all bit, the pink was originally there, but thought I needed to balance it with that. Probably needs more pins than what I'm giving it, but I pin this down. It's a fairly big piece. The back of this is actually, that's 16 by 18, I mean 16 by 20 inches. So it's a fairly big piece of fabric. This, and that. I think the only new piece is that. All the rest are vintage. Yeah, so that's good. Always nice to have vintage fabrics. This is a beautiful, it's like a homespun, but it's not. It's more of a, it was a bit more expensive than the homespun. It was sort of like a better quality of fabric. Really quite like it. That's going to be a little bit thicker because it's got the yellow on the other side. But it's such a pretty colour. I love this pink. So pretty. And I love the vase fabric, that's vintage as well. Yeah, because when I was playing with it, I thought, I think it needs a pink vase. And then I had this fabric and I'm like, perfect fabric. It's good when you find something that's works really well. Okay. At least this is giving you a bit of an idea. While I'm pinning it, you can really study how the background has to go on. I'm going to be adding a photo. Like, this is the second video. I'm making it, and then I'm going to show you the kits and everything in the first video. So I sort of tend to go backwards, but the first video you would have seen the completed piece. And then I proceed to sew. Now on this, I think I might even sew across a little bit, just to add a little bit of texture, because you're going to see that. You will see this, you will see that. Okay, now here's my stash of different colours that I've picked out. You know, these are just one to feel. I think I might even have some DMC or whatever in there. All depends what colours you need. But what am I gonna do first? I wouldn't mind. I think that pink works, and that. So I'll do some of these. Okay. So what we're going to do is I'll get my mat underneath. How are we? Yeah, I'm just going to not zoom it in because we're not doing real close stitching. Oh, I happen to have a thread with pre-done stuff, which is good. Now, where is mine? There it is. So for now, I'm probably just going to be holding them down. So might need a bit more pinning. Just don't want it to move on me. At least the ones that I'm stitching anyway. Okay. So we're going to be maybe just starting here, and I'm just going to do a running stitch, because at this point we are just holding it down. So yes, I was pretty excited when I found that Sanderson fabric, I'm like, you know, I'd already purchased some stuff, and I was talking with the lady, because there was quite a few ladies in there, and just yapping to her about my channel and how I'm going to go to a trip to France and how, like, I love vintage fabric. And she goes, oh, have you seen these? And they were in another cabinet. I'm like, no. And she said, oh, yeah, they're in little packets. I'm like, I'll take all 5. She was quite surprised that I took all of them. You know, don't give anybody else a chance. Got to have all these gorgeous fabric for you guys. And for me, of course. But, yeah, I just seem to have an uncanny knack of being at the right place at the right time and grabbing these beautiful fabrics. But I do scour antique shops and vintage markets, so if you want good vintage antique fabric, you've got to go to those places. But this antique shop that I go to here in Ballarat, she's awesome. She really does. She doesn't, sometimes I don't think she realises what things are worth. But I think she's just competitive, and she'd rather sell it than be stuck with it, I suppose. Yeah, lovely lady. Okay. She doesn't only sell antiques. When I walked in there, I prefer to buy vintage fabric, but she had a table full of reproduction, sort of like at the 1800 type fabrics, obviously, because she scours probably estate sales and all that stuff for things. Someone may have passed away, and they had this gorgeous array of beautiful fabrics, and they were really good price, but they're new reproductions, if you know what I mean. So they're newer, so she doesn't always just have antique stuff. And I ended up getting a pack. Where is my pack? Gorgeous. $5. I mean, $5 for this. You get to see. Which, if you were to buy these new, and now I got, this was $5 as well. This is from like the Fat Quarter shop. Gorgeous. And I've got a project in mind, and these, you know, these panels, certainly going to be a lot more than $5 in a quilt shop, that's for sure. So I've got a plan for this, but so I won't show you all of it, but just yeah. So when I went to my quilt group, I said, oh well, ladies, there's a whole heap of stuff for sale at an antique shop. I was very tempted. So, but she was basically charging the same price for this new reproduction, and then the Sanderson, it was the same price. I mean, I don't think she realised what she had. So I'm like, well, my gain, your gain. Okay, I think I better finish it off. Some of them I might go and do a double row or something like that. There we go. I'm just going to finish it off. Rather a bigger eye. Yeah, so I do have a project in mind for that beautiful stash. I mean, I still love newer fabrics. I've been doing quilting for years, and you know, all vintage fabric was new once. So finish it off. Yep, sorry, you're gonna have to put up with me trying to put it on it. So none too exciting you watching me do running stitch, but if you're going to be making this project with me, turn it on and we can stitch it together, and I can have a bit of a natter in the background. Yappa yappa. So it's always exciting when you get some good finds, and it really inspires me to design. I've been inspired by a few different things. When I do, I've been telling you guys I've got a project ready, you know, like that I'm doing for next year, and I've already started filming part 1, and there's 9 parts, and one's for each month. So I'll have, I'd like to show you the product in December so that you could, you know, purchase at least the packs or the patterns so that you can stitch along. And it's a journal. It's called Vintage Sewing, and each month I'm going to be doing a different technique. So the first month is the cover, so we make that really nice and fancy, and then block one's the cover, and then we've got I'm going to do cross stitch, and look, written it down. So there you go. I've been talking about this for a while, so I'm just going to get you guys ready. Where we are there. First month is cross stitch. Oh no, block 2 is cross stitch, and so you get all the patterns and DMC floss and all that. And so I'll have only 15 kits available. Then we've got English paper piecing, and then I've got some Liberty fabrics. So these are all vintage fabrics, and if not, they're the English paper piecing's got some beautiful English Liberty fabrics. And block 4 is embroidery and cut work. Block 5 is this vintage sewing page. So I'm going to make a faux needle case, and I've got vintage needles and buttons and a bit of a lace collar. Like, it's more of a textile collage page rather than a technique, but it's beautiful, and it's a really nice page. We're going to do crazy patchwork, re-embroidery and ribbon embroidery. Re-embroidery is what we're doing here, like as in, you know, where you get a beautiful piece of fabric and you sew over the top. But I'm also going to incorporate ribbon embroidery with that one. I'm going to be doing quilting, so I'll probably do a log cabin or something really, you know, like, because it's on a page. And the last one I'm going to do maybe my scissors holders case, or I was wanting to do, we got a bit of a thing, needle turn applique. So that's probably going to, see they've got little question marks, I better put on there, and needle turn applique. So it's still all in the works. Needle turn applique, as well as my little scissors holder case, which has probably been the most popular digital kit that I've sold. I mean, it's only $1, but because it's so practical, that's this one. So I was actually thinking of doing a page and having that, and then because it's a journal and it's somewhere that you could probably tuck your scissors, I might, because I've got this one. I found these scissors. I knew I had a pair of stalk scissors, and I was thinking I might make one to hold the stalk scissors, but I might do some applique on that as well, because I wanted to do, because I was thinking of all different techniques. I mean, there's stump work, and I've got a stump work book, but I haven't really done it. So maybe I could, you know, learn how to do that with you. So, yeah, because I really have been enjoying the Roxy's Journal of Stitchery. And as much as I love making these type of projects, you know, there's only so much wall space. I think this project here will make a beautiful centerpiece for a quilt, or it just can be hung up on its own, or even a lovely gift for someone. It's just so pretty. It's sort of almost like textile art, this one, but it would make a really good centerpiece. And then you put, if you're a quilter, extra block pieces on the outside. So you're going through a few layers here, but 3. yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that. And I know some of you ladies were like, oh, you know, because I've been sort of talking, I've got something in the works. Well, there you go. There's my reveal of what I want to do. And I personally think it's a pretty good idea, learning how to do a different technique each month. In 2020 I did the block of the month with the 2021 I did the woodland animals, and now I'm turning it into a beautiful quilt. I was going to put it into a book, but I thought I have got a spot for that, so I've got a place in the hallway where I rotate quilts. I put the Christmas one up there at Christmas time, and at the moment it's got nothing on there because it's waiting for my woodland one. And I'm finished all the blocks, I've just got to put it together, and I was waiting to do that with my craft class, so which I couldn't make this month. So yeah, because I've got a lot of tables, and I'm able to put a few tables together so that I could work on it. I've got a couple of tables, I just don't have the space, and being still in winter, I don't particularly want to drag them outside, which I've done in the past, but it has to be a good day. Don't want to risk it. See, it even looks pretty on the outside. Yeah, I don't want to risk my stuff getting wet. Okay. So, cut that off, and I'll do the pink one. Which one did I decide for that one? That one, or the other one, and that one. I'm thinking that one's probably better. Once it's all down and sewn, like stitched down like that, you got to remember there's going to be things stitched over the top. I'll give it a good iron. Yeah, I think that one's probably a better one. So, I'm sure we keep those bits because we will be using it. That might be a good one for that too. I usually like to have it a little bit darker. So I'll just stitch this one with you and then probably turn it off. Yes, because we've already got 33 minutes, so I might even stop there. So we're just gonna stitch like I've done here, stitch it all down, and once that's all done, put that over the top. That goes all the way along, and then I'm going to just do a running stitch and then grab a few stitches, I like to hold that down there. So the next one you see will be, this is all stitched down, and then we're going to do the applique and bits and pieces. So there you go, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next episode, because yeah, a bit boring you watching me stitch it all down, so you know what you need to do for this one. Thanks for watching. Bye.